everyone, if we are all ready, let's begin. We are here to discuss the storybook, The Silver Sword. Let's start by discussing the plot development of the story. The story is set in Warsaw during the Second World War. Joseph, the protagonist of the story, is the head teacher of a school in Warsaw. He is arrested by Nazis and taken away to a prison camp for the reason that he does not show respect to the Hitler's pictures. Therefore, he has to leave his three children, Ruth, Alec, and Bonnier, and his wife behind to fend for themselves. Waiting for a whole year, Joseph finds an incredible chance and to escape from the prison by knocking out a guard. Afterwards, Joseph determined to return to Warsaw to reunion with his family members. However, he only finds the rubbles of his house. His children, his wife were all missing. Could you tell me what's going on next, Matthew?
Sure. After Joseph returns to the rooms of his old house, he finds the silver sword that was once a possession of his wife. After that, Joseph plans to track down his wife who would have tried her way to Switzerland. Then, with the help of Jan, Joseph finds a goods train going towards Germany. On the night of Joseph's wife's disappearance, the three siblings decide to escape. They watch from a distance as their house was blown up. It means all of them were safe, not as what Joseph thinks. However, Edith was captured by the Nazis because of fever. One day, Bonnier found Jan lying prone in the street. After that, Ruth makes friends with a Russian sentry called Ivan. With the help of Ivan, Jan, Bonnier, and Ruth reunite with Edith, but is suffering from tuberculosis. What happened after their reunion?
Thank you for sharing. After the three settlers are back together, they try to find their parents. They arrive in Berlin after the end of the Second World War, and then they go to the camp where they are cared for. Ruth and Jan get jobs. However, Edith is arrested while following Jan, who was stealing food from the trains. Edith is keen of any crimes, but Jan is sentenced to detention for a week. And then they are taken in by a farmer called Kirk. All of children except Edith are put to work on the farm. However, the burgomaster tells Kirk of a reason that all refugees are to be returned to their country to avoid being sent back. Kirk helps the children escape on canoe. What is happened after the canoe journey?
Yes, you guys introduced it so lively, and let me introduce our later development at the end of the story. When Jan and the dog believed to be missing and causes Derek Edith's condition to take a turn for a worse, an American government issued lorry driver who called Joe Woski helped the children to find Jan. Surprisingly, Jan and the dog were already inside the back of the truck. Later on, the superintendent reported the message from the children's father to the children and helped the children to go through and get to Switzerland. But another difficulty is that they have to cross across the turbulent stream, which is the most dangerous adventure as there has turbo storm, and to capsize their boat. The drowning of Edith is supposed to be occurred, but James saved him. After the adventure, the children was united with their parents' family. Under the grove of
stable life in Switzerland, the children could develop their hobbies, like Romeo developed a talent for art and draw realistic pictures of the warfare. To sum up, the children had come across the warfare and enjoyed their life finally. And I think that is the ideal ending.
So far, we have come across the plot development of the story. Do you guys have anything to add? If not, let's move on to the next topic to discuss how the writer of the story managed to convey the message to the readers. To start with, I want to ask you guys, do you think world peace is important? I think your answers should be yes. And one of the messages the writers want to convey is that the war will bring disasters to people's lives. For example, many people will be homeless, and many families will be torn apart. In order to succeed in conveying the message, the writer pictures the painful experience of Joseph's family and his family members. For example, Joseph's family was torn apart. His three children were left on their own, and the house was turned into the ruined rubble to accentuate the repercussion brought by the rulers' warfare. Many realistic examples were ways to convey the message. Moreover, a contrast between the lives of Joseph's family before and during the wars is made. The writer illustrates the stable life Joseph's family had before the war and hardship Joseph's family confronted during the war is demonstrated in detail. It helps readers to fully understand the war is putting people in jeopardy. How do you perceive my point, Matthew?
I agree with you. The writer has made effort to convey the message that war is a bad thing. I think the writer conveys a message of hope by telling us the story. Silver's war is actually a metaphor. It symbolizes hope. For instance, when Joseph returned to the ruins of his old house, he was almost despaired of reuniting with his family, as he thought that his wife was captured and his children had probably died in the bombing of his house. However, at the same time, he found a small letter opener, the silver sword, that was once a possession of his wife. The silver sword relies his hope to find his wife and children. By symbolizing hopes, the writer wants to tell us that we should always have hope and teaches us to have a positive value towards our life. How the writer conveyed the message of children to the readers.
And I think beside the message of never giving up the hope, and the writer uses different experience of the children to convey the message that children should not rely on their parents, and they will grow up when facing different problems and solve the problems by themselves. For example, the children go to Switzerland from Warsaw by themselves. They need to find jobs and food by themselves. Compared with the children nowadays, they rely on their parents. Some simple things like tying the shoelace, they even don't know how to do that. I think they should learn from the 4 children in the story. Besides the message, we just waste how the writer conveyed and other messages to read.
Thank you for your sharing. Now, may I ask you guys a simple question? Do you ever treasure the time with your family member? I suppose you got your answers. But in the novel, the children and their parents are forced to be separated in the age of chaos. And the writer could, through describing the disorder of the society in Second World War, to emphasize that most children at that moment were homeless and lost contact with their parents, because their parents mostly died in the battles or sent to prisons. Also, for more examples, and based on the children's family is a warm family, and it reason enough to motivate the children to find their parents. Therefore, I think the heart of the matter of this novel is the idea of family, which the author wanted to deliver and spread the warmth of family, and everyone would be united together. Also, its family concept that hide in this novel reminds me that family is a group of people who love each other, which is especially important to the traditional Chinese people, just like us. And it inspired me that I need to be more treasure my family time with my parents and enjoy to get along with them. Do you have any share?
Then let's talk about how the writer can alter the plot to make the theme of the book more outstanding. First, one of the themes of this book is never giving up the hope. To make the theme more of the book more outstanding, I think the writer could add a scene which is about when they escape by the canoe. One of the children is shot by the soldier and almost died. However, they don't give up the hope. Finally, they find the doctor to save his life. Then they continue to find their parents. And I think these scenes could make the theme of never giving up hope more outstanding, because they don't give up the hope. Finally, they can be more alive. And also, the reader can more easily to know the theme. And how do you find an idea, Eason?
You got a very decent point. Your ideas can make the film Don't Give Up Any Hope more outstanding. In the past, that Joseph was searching for his wife and his children from the rubble of his house. He could not find them, but he regained the silver sword that he gave to his wife. In fact, the writer wants to express the theme that there is always hope in our life. I think the flame is not probably increased or conveyed to the readers. So, if I was the writer, I would increase the illustration about the emotion change of Joseph before and after he found the silver sword. For example, through some dialogues and his behaviors, he showed the feelings of Joseph change from despair to hopeful. And therefore, the film There is Always Hope in Our Life will be more outstanding. How about you, David?
Yes, I think your opinion is quite interesting and I've learned a lot from it. And let me introduce my opinion to all of you. Based on the theme of the novel, they all surround the warfare, the family spirit, and the silver sword, which means the hope in finding the children and parents for themselves. And I would like to alter the ending of the novel to make the story become more outstanding. And I wish to let the homeless orphan, Jane, to meet his parents again, is that he lost his parents to become an orphan originally. And I believe that everyone who being an orphan was looking for a silver line to meet their parents again. In each reader are expecting for their ideal ending usually. And I believe the film would be more impressive if John meets his parents and enjoyed his family time, and it would be the best altered plot that I've considered for the ending. What is your feeling, Matthew?
I would say the theme of the book is a repetition of war. because it fits the entire book. Eason has just told us some of the examples in the second part of our discussion. I suggest the writer to revise the ending of the story too. I think that the story ends unusually happy. Collapse of buildings, heavy casualties, and even the separation of any lovers. All these are serious bad consequences of war. In order to stimulate readers to think of what wars would bring to us, the writer should insert some related bad results of war. Besides, we can rewrite the story to have a slightly sad ending. That is, the three siblings cannot find their parents or even arrange the death of some main characters. At the end of the story, if the ending of the story includes the bad effects of war, it would cause the introspection of readers and make the theme of the book more outstanding. Do you guys have anything to add? Then let's end our discussion.